Hi everybody, I hope you all are doing well. So this is our first video together. So I hope that you all enjoy it. I've done some illustrations for you, I've drawn some pictures, I'm trying to keep it as engaging as possible. Right now it's a challenging time for everybody, and I'm going to do the best I can to try to keep you engaged. So what this video is on is just a review of Slope-Intercept Form. You've all seen Slope-Intercept before. What it is, it's this equation right here. It's y equals mx plus b. So, on your guided practice page, or that little page under Monday where you're supposed to be taking notes while you're watching this video, if you're not, pause the video, go back and grab that sheet and get ready to start taking notes. So, I'm assuming that you have done that. So, your first notes that you need to do, you just need to fill in the blanks for right here. I hope you all remember this. Based on this equation, the m stands for our slope. Slope can also be written as what? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. I hope you all remember that slope can also be written as rise over run. So, then we get to the b. B is another thing for y-intercept. So, before we dive into the examples, I want to talk just a second about an option that you have. So, I've broken the examples up into each day. So, the first example is going to be for Tuesday's works that you're going to be doing on Khan Academy. The second and third example are going to be for Wednesday's work that you're going to be doing on Khan Academy. And example 4 is going to be Thursday's work that you're going to do on Khan Academy. So if you want to watch only the set part of this video that goes with the work that you're doing for that day, that is fine. So what I mean by this, if you only want to watch up until example 1 and then do Tuesday's works, that is fine. So then on Wednesday, if you chose to do that, you would just go ahead and skip example 1 and you'd start this video on example 2. Or if you'd like, you can just watch it till the end and do all the notes all at once. It's truly up to you. Okay, so before we get going on notes, I drew you a little cartoon. Here we go. So, here's me. This is pre-corona Mr. Kaforia. Very happy, loving school, loving class. Everything felt very normal. And we go here. We found out that we're going to be doing some online learning. Do you see this face? That's a panic face. I wasn't sure how online learning was going to work. Seemed like a lot of work, and it's a scary thought to kind of think about. We got to change everything we've been doing all year to a completely different format. But after some thought and some time to think about it and some time to practice, this is how I'm feeling now. I'm feeling pretty good. Got some nice shades on. I'm optimistic about this. I think that we're going to be able to get through this, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to do it with a little style as we go. So with that said, let's get to it. Let's do example 1. So, as we said before, example 1 goes with Tuesday's work. So, what Tuesday's work's really about, it's just about you refreshing yourself on y equals mx plus b. So we know that in y equals mx plus b, that m is the slope, right? M is the slope. So the m in this equation is going to be this, right? It's going to be that too. So, what is the slope of this equation? It's going to be 2. Pretty cool, right? Number 1 done, just like that. Second question asked, what are the coordinates of the y-intercept in this equation? So, this question is a little different than what we've seen before. It says, what are the coordinates, right? Take a second and I want you to think about what coordinates are. Coordinates are this. It's a point, right? You have an x value and a y value. So we need to know the x and the y value on the y-intercept. But in order to do that, we need to think about what is going to be our x value at the y-intercept. So I want you to take a second and think about, where are all the y-intercepts? I hope what you thought about is that the y-intercepts, let's get this, the y-intercepts are on this line, right? And on this line, what is our x for all of these values? Yeah, it's 0, right? So we're going to come back up here once I figure out how to move this. There we go. And the x value for all of our y-intercepts will always be 0. And then we need to know the y value. The y value, it's going to be the b. And in our case, that b is this 4 in our original equation. It's our b value. So it's going to be 0, 4. And this will be our answer number 2. All right. Now, we need to go to number 3. Let's zoom out so we can see it. It says graph the equation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write it down here just so we can see it. We have y equals 2x plus 4. Okay? So, first step always with this is that we need to graph the y-intercept. And our y-intercept is right there. Then, because we know that slope is rise over run, our slope will be 2, or 2 over 1, because anything divided by 1 is itself. So 2 divided by 1 is 2. So 2 and 2 over 1 are the exact same things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up 2 because our rise is 2, and we're going to go over 1 because our run is 1. So we're going to go up 1, 2, and over 1. Oh, that wasn't very good. It's kind of hard to do this. I'm doing this with a stylus, and my stylus is pretty big. There we go. That's a good shot. Up 2 and over 1. Up 2 and over 1. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to draw our line. I got a cool little feature. Ready? Watch this. And we're going to pretend, no, we'll draw a new line. All right, here we go. Try number 2. See if this works a little better. Oh. Try number 3. There we go. We have our line that goes through our points, roughly. So, we have now graphed that equation. So, that is example 1. This goes with Tuesday's work. So if you want to pause this video here and complete Tuesday's work, now is a good opportunity for you to do so. Okay, so if you're still listening, you're either choosing to do the notes all at once, or it is now Wednesday, and you're ready for example 2 and example 3. So what this says is write the equation in slope-intercept form. Just a reminder what slope-intercept form is. It's y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So what we need to do is we need to find 2 important things. We need to find our y-intercept and we need to find our slope. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the y-intercept, right? We're going to write this as a coordinate. If we remember from yesterday, we know that the x value of our y-intercept will always be 0. And I hope that you can see that our y-intercept is at 2. So our y-intercept is at 2. And then from 2, in order to get to our next point, we can zoom in. From 2, we need to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Oh, that's funny. Here we go. It's this point right here, right? So we need to go up 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3. So we have a rise of 2 and a run of 3. So our slope would be 2 over 3 because it's rise over run. And from here, all we have to do, because we have our slope and we have our y-intercept, we just need to plug it into our equation. So we're going to have y equals 2/3 x plus 2. And there you go. And that's example 2. So we have one more question that goes with Wednesday's work, and we're going to go over to it right now. So it says, convert the following equation from a standard form to slope-intercept form. So we know that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So what we're going to need to do, excuse me, is we're going to need to solve for y. So let me zoom in. We have this equation. I'll let you take a second to think about what we're going to need to do. What we're going to need to do is that we're going to need a minus 6x to both sides as a start. We're doing this because we know that we need to get y by itself on the left side. And when we do this, what we're going to be left with is 12y is equal to negative 6x plus 36. So I want you to think for a second, how do we get the y by itself? Well, what we have to do is we need to divide both sides by 12. And when we do that, what we're going to have left is, when we divide both sides by 12, we're going to have y equals negative 6 over 12. What is 6 over 12? I'm going to give you something to think about that. I'm hoping that you realize that 6 is half of 12. So 6 over 12 is actually negative 1/2 x. And then 36 divided by 12 is going to be 3. So we have our equation. Now, what we need to do is we need to graph it. So that's what we're going to do. We have, I'm going to write it again, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. First step is we need to graph our y-intercept, and our y-intercept is 3. Oh, can't even see it. 3, right there. Then we need to go rise over run, down 1 and over 2. But we need to be careful here because we know that it's negative, right? Our slope is negative. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go down 1 and over 2 in the negative direction, which is going to be this way. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. And what we're going to have our line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw our line. Boom. And we have graphed this. Guess what? That is example 3. And that is all of the work for Wednesday. So now would be a good time. If you want to pause this and do Wednesday's work, go ahead and do so. So, for those of you that are still watching and doing this all at once, we are almost there. This is the last one. So, these problems are brand new. You have never seen these before. But don't worry. It's something that you all are going to be able to do. So, what these type of problems are, is just asking you for you, what is the slope of the following equations? So how we're going to do that is we're going to need to put all of our equations into y equals mx plus b form. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move some stuff around. We're going to have to do a little math, right? So the first thing that we need to do in the first one is we need to do some simplifying. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do the distributive property. Let me get my marker. We're going to have to go 2 times x. 2 times the negative 4. And when we do that, we're going to get y minus 3 is equal to 2x minus 8. Then, from here, we know we need to get that y by itself. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add 3 to both sides. And when we do that, we're going to get y equals 2x minus 5. Boom. But wait, are we done? No, we're not. What is it asking for? It says, hey, Mr. C, what is the slope? The slope? We know that the slope in this equation is 2. So 2 would be our answer for number 1. All right, here we go. Last one. This one's a little tricky. I want you to think about why this one's a little tricky. What do you notice? What do you notice about y? Yeah, y is on the right side. And we know that in the end, we need to get it in y equals mx plus b form. So what we need to do right away is we need to move y to the other side, right? Because we need y on the left side. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to go minus 4y to both sides. And when we do that, what we're going to have is we're going to have negative 4y plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 8. Now, what we need to do is we need to slowly move everything to the other side other than the y. So, to do this, we're going to have to subtract the 1 to both sides. And we are going to get negative 4y plus 2x is equal to 7. Then, let me zoom out a little bit. Then, make sure we're in green, we're going to have to subtract 2x to both sides. And when we do that, we're going to get negative 4y is equal to negative 2x plus 7. And then finally, our last step is we need to get y completely by itself. And we're going to do that by dividing both sides by negative 4. And when we do that, we're going to get a final answer of, hold on, let me get my marker, y equals. Now careful here, we have a negative over a negative. Negative 2 divided by negative 4. We know that a negative over a negative is a positive, right? Also, what we know is that 2/4 can be simplified. I hope that you all remember that 2/4 is equal to 1/2. So we're going to have y equals 1/2 x minus 7/4. And the final thing what it asks for is it's asking you for what is the slope of this equation. Well, we know that the slope in our equation is the m value. So in our case, we're going to write it down here. We're going to write it as the 1/2. Boom. Answer. So these equations, for example 4, what they're really asking you is it's asking you to be able to find the slope. Move y to the left side and be able to solve it into y equals mx plus b in order to find the slope. So that's the video for week 1. I hope I didn't bore you too much. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from some of you in the Google Hangout coming up this week. All right, bye everybody.